hurt, it becomes a whole cycle. And in Lusaka, it's a cycle. It is a cycle of pain and I slept with her, I slept with him, and then we were in a situationship. It's just a whole cycle of pain. That's.
When a woman has multiple partners or a high body count, it automatically makes her a girl who's very difficult to pair bond with one partner. It means that if she fucked a mandingo who had a 12-inch dick when she was 21 years old, and she wants to settle down with Jere at 27 years old, she will always go back and say, nobody ever fucked me like that mandingo when I was 21 years old. I promise you.
What that means, while we were together, what that means is you had a connection with that guy before you actually said yes to having sex with him. Whereas the guy doesn't have to have a connection. So it is possible for a guy to actually have sex with another girl and not have feelings with her and actually have feelings just for you. It is possible.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode here at the M&J podcast. Today, I'm joined by
we're joined by ladies for the first time on the podcast. We have females. It's going to be amazing. And remember to subscribe and give us your feedback on our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the platforms.
And remember, we're having a draw for for the 100th subscriber, we gave away 100 questions. This time, for the 200th subscriber, we're giving away AirPods. Remember, AirPod Pros for the 200th subscriber.
Yeah, get us up to 1,000, and you never know. We might give you a 13 Pro Max or something.
The road to 1K.
Yeah, at the moment, the only phone I'm going to be giving away is an MI. The MI.
Yeah, the MI Note 5.
Yeah, it comes with 16 GB.
And 2 GB RAM.
Yeah, it's an amazing phone with 4G.
Remember, it's courtesy of Z Nations.
And it comes with different colors, by the way.
We've got the almond green,
the pink,
the peach, and the blue.
Yeah. Ladies, introduce yourselves. So I'm going to start with you.
So, hi, my name is Nikiwe. Anything else?
All right, so give us name, age, and...
Speak in the mic, Jere.
So give us name, age, and highest level of education attained.
Okay.
Oh shit, yeah, we can lie.
So my name is Nikiwe. I'm 19 years of age. I am currently studying at the University of Zambia in my second year.
Great.
And the other lady there.
My name is Anna, and I'm a counseling psychologist. Yes, I'm not studying. Yes, I'm actually doing my attachments at Kalingalinga Clinic. Yes.
Anna. And when you came in, someone called you by Salome.
Yeah. I was the shock on my face right now.
The crazy thing is,
a lot of stories.
It's common.
So has this been a lie?
Maybe he doesn't know your name.
This entire time?
Maybe he calls you by a different name.
Serious?
Like Salome.
But really, it's not your name.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to talk about this now?
The funny story is, don't worry, you're not alone in this. Actually, we keep on having jokes regarding our names as Jere. Because you all know him as Jere, but actually he's the Panji.
Yeah, Jere. Follow, please.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah.
So this has been a lie?
No, Jere is his last name, like the family name and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I had trauma growing up in kindergarten. What would happen is my classmates would always tease me and and I'm like,
you'd laugh actually. I
think I can relate because I remember I wanted to have a very common last name. I wanted to be like Banda, Piri, I wanted to be like everybody else. And so my last name is not very heard. So when everybody asked me, what's your last name? And I would be like, oh, where are you from? And then the pronunciations, the spellings, oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started about that. So I thought it was going to be easier for like Banda. I remember because I wanted to be Banda so bad. I think the person I was sitting next to was Banda. I'm just like, oh my God, if I was Banda.
That's good. Actually, if you're Banda, you can actually even reverse it and call yourself Adnab. Yeah, in reverse, we have a friend who actually calls himself by the name of Adnab. You wouldn't know, it's just Banda in reverse. If you read it in the reverse, it becomes Adnab. It's crazy. So I don't know. What's the topic, Mr. Jere? What are we talking about tonight?
The thing is that because we've never had females on our show, we thought we'd get into a thing that would enlighten us on a different perspective, because we're having discourse, right? And we've noticed there's a lot of contention in dating in Lusaka. There's just a lot. People have different ideas. People are getting dating advice from TikTok, Instagram Reels. There's a lot going on. We have expectations as men from you women, and as well as you women have expectations from us as men. And thought this was a platform in which we could discuss our ideas, share what we think, and even though it ends up heated, we hope it'll be things will be okay. But yeah. So the first thing is I just want to understand, what do you describe as dating? Like, at what stage would you say you're in a relationship? When we were young, I remember I was telling Malo I had a crush, would always and eventually we were in a relationship. But then when I grew older, I discovered there's certain things that would happen that would make me be in a relationship. So when would you classify it as a situationship, a relationship, or like just a fuck buddy? What are the gray areas and what are the demarcations? I'll start with you, Anna.
Okay, so I think relationships, like as you've said, classifying it.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm in a relationship if somebody asks me out, like, would you be my girlfriend, something like that. Let's make it formal. People must know about it, so that is dating for me. You don't just start talking every day. And then you'll be like, oh no, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend. No, that's just communication. I can talk to anyone, like on a daily basis, but that doesn't mean I'm dating them. Yes. And then a situationship is where, let's say you just maybe meet someone on the road and they probably explain to you a few of their problems and something, and then you just, out of pity, you're just talking to them and then making them feel comfortable around you. Then you're like, okay, you start telling your friends, no, that's my girlfriend, that's my boyfriend. You guys haven't asked each other out. You don't know each other as much, apart from the only thing they explained to you. So yeah, I would say that's a situationship because of something that you guys are dating. You're not dating because you love each other or you want to be together or you know each other.
And the fuck buddies?
Fuck buddies. I mean, you're bored, you call someone. There are people that you can just, when you're bored and horny, of course, you just call someone and be like, I'm alone, I'm home, I'm bored, can you come over? And the person will come over. You just fuck, they leave, and that's it. No feelings attached.
Nice. I like it.
My definition of a relationship would be somebody, like she said, somebody officially asking me out, us making it official, coming together to the teams, maybe in conditions that we want to see each other pursue in the relationship. You come together and then you decide, oh, I want you to be my girlfriend, I want you to be my boyfriend, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to make it work, we're going to be together, nobody else is going to come in between us. Then I would say a situationship would be a situation where two people are acting as if they're dating, but in actual sense there's no official verification of them being together in the relationship. So in a certain situation where let me give an example of online, right? Maybe you meet somebody off Instagram or Facebook, you start talking, get to know each other, you meet each other, but then you don't take it further to the step of where we say, oh, okay, let's make it official. You be my girlfriend, you be my boyfriend. You're just still talking to each other. You end up even I've noticed some situationships reach a stage where they even start doing things that people in a relationship are doing, but then there's no official verification of them being together. People start kissing, they start going out, but then there's no official. That's how you end up. You see a situation where someone says, I'm not your boyfriend. Under no circumstance did I admit for me to being in a relationship with you. That's why you're like, oh, that's a situationship. We were going. Yeah, that's how it works out. And the fuck buddy, I think somebody just have sex with no, maybe like no strings attached, no official, like saying official confirmation that we're dating or we're together. Like she said, you call somebody, oh, okay, come and have sex, you forget about it when you're bored. Some people even go as far as, even if they're in a relationship, they still have somebody they're having sex with outside, because sometimes, due to different circumstances. Yeah, if you go there, it will take a different turn. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Malo, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So there's one thing that I noticed is I'm gonna say something very
controversial.
Okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
I discovered the older that I got that men have access to a relationship of whatever sort, right? It could be marriage, it could be a boyfriend and a girlfriend, it could be a fiance. Men are the ones that would ultimately get down on one knee and say, will you be my wife? Will you be my girlfriend? But on the flip side, women have access to sex. A woman, if a man forces it, then it's rape, right? But if a woman does not consent to having sex with a guy, then it's a crime. So it's only when a girl says, I'm alone, like you said, I'm alone. If a guy doesn't have a clue, he'll be like, oh, what are you doing? I've been that guy. And not get laid. But if a guy is inept and is really fast, he knows, okay, listen, let me try and make things work. What do you want? Do you want me to come over with popcorn? Would you like to get a snack or some drinks? Oh, okay, yeah, come with this. Make sure you have a movie playing for us to do together, so that it doesn't look like it's just like a business transaction. It's really often eerie. So I discovered access to sex is by women and access to relationship is by men. And so women sometimes can give sex but try and exchange it for a relationship, but it fails because a guy would have different expectations. He would expect to just be a fuck buddy, and the woman would be like, I needed a relationship instead. Why exactly aren't you asking me out? And sometimes a guy may be too into a girl and demand a relationship, but the girl's like, dude, I didn't sign up for a relationship. All I want is sex. So I think this is the part where we had two opposing things, and with men, they have to make it clear. With women, they have to make it clear before getting into it. So yeah, Malo.
Yeah. It's in regards to everything that I think all the way up to me, I think you guys had very interesting angles to view this topic, and it brought me to also realizing certain things that I didn't see from your perspective and whatnot. And exactly what Jere said, but if I'm only speaking from the guy's perspective, sometimes it gets confusing when you're throwing all the right signs, you think, and the girl does not reciprocate at the end of the day. We've seen stories, fast forward, we've seen stories of guys being in an official relationship, like dating with the woman, investing, and at the end of it all, you kneel down, embarrass yourself in front of a lot of people, and the woman just goes like, no. You know what I mean? And that side of the topic, actually, it makes me wonder as to think, are women or girls just entitled in the relationship sector to the point that they are selfish to just want to receive and never want to give as much as they receive?
But give what exactly?
Yeah.
Everything. Like, look at it in the situation of whereby a guy has been investing. Both of you have been investing with time, obviously. And maybe the guy has been hypothetically taking you out, maybe paying your school fees and stuff like that. And finally, he just asks for your hand in marriage. And the girl just goes like, nah, you know what I mean? Not just that. Okay, let's just put it in a simple scenario. Like, for example, we go out a lot of times and stuff like that. I'm obviously showing obvious signs to say I want you to be my girl and stuff like that. Final day, maybe I'm taking my time, I'm respecting you and whatnot. Final day, we go to a lodge or my place. I try to get it on with you and go like, no, not the right time. Okay, cool. I leave you. We still go back in the investing sector where we go out again and do, raise each other's expectations and whatnot. And still, I try and it doesn't happen again. But she's still receiving. She's still accepting my gestures, you know what I mean? But for me to get what I want at that particular moment, she says, no. Okay, I'll try again. No. I'll try again. No. So I before I lose my track of thought, I'm just trying to say, sometimes I feel like women are receiving more than they are giving in a relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. Reaction.
Wait, I'm processing the information. You've said so many things that I want to pick out and note. Because if I say something, I think we're gonna go off track.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very heated Can you? Do you have anything to say? Let me process.
Everything you are saying, I think I only got the last part. Where you said women don't give as much as they receive. A man is supposed to be a provider, so of course we'll receive. As you give, we'll receive. But then, on the other hand, so it's not supposed to be like that. Like, we're supposed to reciprocate. So if, let's say the love that you're showing me, I'm supposed to show the same love to you. That's why in relationships, since the topic is about dating, right? So if you're in a relationship, you're dating, you don't just wait for your partner to maybe call you, text you, or plan dates. You can also do that. It's supposed to be like a 50-50 thing. Yes. I think...
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You know what I think? I think it's good that women finesse us guys. Here's the reason to why. I think the reason to why it's very good is, I'll explain it in twofold. The first is, there's a concept that we discussed with Malo earlier on. It's a concept called hypergamy. This means women primarily date up. They don't date. They date either at their class or higher. That's socioeconomic or creed, race, whatever. They date up. The reason to why is so that the seed and the offspring should be able to survive. So it means they date the biggest, the strongest, the more agile, the most financially independent man there is, so that the child and the lineage, the bloodline, should survive. Now the thing is, when a man provides and gives a woman attention, he expects in return sex, right? So it's like an exchange. We primarily understand this because from the dawn of, before the sexual marketplace had a disruption, we would trade our time and attention, and the woman would give sex. But the only time that a woman would give sex was within the confines of marriage, right? So when a man says, I want to have sex with you, the woman will put a ring on my finger. Now, if the man decides to put a ring on a finger, then they will start a nuclear family, and then this is just the natural balance of things. But there's been a disruption, right? Since the 1970s, I think 1973, when the birth control pill came, the entire dating market shifted, because now a woman would have sex with a man without consequences of either falling pregnant or catching any STI, right? So it means a woman can have multiple partners but not pay the consequence of having multiple partners, as would happen in the 1950s. And hence, the woman will no longer be monogamous, but she will have multiple partners because she has access to either use contraception by condom or birth control, even though they use unprotected sex. This has changed the dynamic. Now a woman can get attention after the dawn of social media in the early 2000s. Now a woman can get attention from tons of men without trading it for sex. And the ugly truth is, men can only exchange their money and attention and not get laid.
Okay, let me make you understand the reason why we're talking about. You would think in your mind to say, well, but why is sex more important in this sequence? No, actually, sex becomes a symbol to, like the give and receive, theory of things, right? Let's talk about. Let me try to make you understand in regards to before you each try to explain in your own words what it means to be in these three types of relationships, right? But one thing that you're not thinking about is the reason why the whole structure currently, in 2023, a lot of relationships are not working. We might put all these structures to say, but a lot of relationships are, what did you say the term was? Fuck what? Fuck buddies. A lot of relationships just end up in fuck buddies, or, you don't know where you're at. Either the guy doesn't know whether he's dating the girl, or the girl doesn't know whether she's dating the guy. Reason being is, from the guy's perspective, if I notice to say that you have some toxic femininity in you like, controlling and stuff like that, I'll hit that, and still not get into a relationship. Because I know I cannot. In a long term of doing things together and activities, we cannot go together. I already know that.
Wait, is it because is it because you're insecure as a man? Is it because you're insecure as a man? So you can't control an independent woman like that, who's toxic, who's feminist.
Who's feminist? Okay, the role of the woman usually in the setup of a man's life, in my perspective, is a woman who come in to be like, for example, if I'm dating a girl, she's someone who challenges me, who makes me see perspective and affirms as much as I affirm her as well. Now, if I come out of a battlefield, I go back into another battlefield, because this woman is like, I cannot do these things for you because you also have to do these things for me. And I'm like, okay. There's always that, the tit for tat and stuff like that. There's never compromise on her department, just showing that raw femininity of care more than I would display it, because naturally I believe women are more in touch with the emotions and where emotions are concerned and stuff like that. Well, where men are more inclined in logic and stuff like that. You see that, right? So let me summarize. The reason why you find all these, the three structures that we've mentioned, is because of the glitch that I introduced in the topic, which is, you find that on my perspective as a guy, I see that the reason why I will not, if I'm that fuck buddy that you want to convert into the boyfriend, will not make you my girlfriend, is because I've spotted that you're toxic, and I'll keep on fucking you and not opt to make you my girlfriend. That's the reason why I said to say, the reason why is because girls are usually receiving. From my end, my observing end, I would say they're receiving than they are giving. One reason why. I don't know if you understand.
So you want to find out why we're mostly on the receiving end? Is it? I feel like it's the whole concept of a man being a provider. I feel like that's where it starts from. And then I feel like the conflict right now in our generation begins with, this is going to take a very big turn if I bring in this term, but then I feel like that's going to make me gender equality. Mm-hmm. So this whole essence of gender equality has made men, both men and women, think it's supposed to be a 50-50 thing. But then I feel like a relationship should never be a 50-50 thing, in the sense of nobody can be 50-50. You get my point, right? So if you 80, you can be 20 in the different context that we're supposed to be in. So maybe I can be an 80 in respect. Okay, no, respect has to be 50-50, has to go both ways. How can I give? I'm really looking for the best example. Okay, let me say finances, right? Maybe say I'm not working, you're working, right? In the sense of your finances are 80, my finances are 20. So where I'm unable to reach, you are reaching. So in another sense of, I could say maybe cooking, right? In a perspective where I'm a better cook. I'm a cook at 80, a better cook at 20. So maybe you can help me. Oh, okay, let me help you cut. Let me help you, and then I proceed. So the whole essence of these relationships, I feel like people are over-expectant from both parties. From the women, they're over-expectant, and from the men, they're over-expectant. And I feel like sex has been made the extreme center of relationships these days. It's a point where men have reached a certain point of saying, I can't be in a relationship with you if you can't give me sex. Like, I have different friends of mine have reached a certain point where I say, I can't deal with the guys anymore. Like, we talk for 2 minutes, it's already, oh, okay, so when are you going to give me some? I just met you, come on, like, you have no idea what I have. They don't even ask. I don't even think people ask what's your status anymore. It's straight on to, okay, let's have sex, like there's just too much expecting from both parties, when they need to understand that in a relationship you can't always be 50-50, and then you can't be overexpectant with people, because people are humans. Some people fall short in certain aspects, so you're supposed to help each other where you can. And then the issue for, what do I want to say, for receiving is generally, like, even when we grow up, like, it's always been a man is supposed to provide for you. Even up to now, I still hear it over and over again. It's a man is supposed to provide for you, a man is supposed to provide for you. So it's engraved in me, it's engraved in her. I'm sure she thinks about it. So the whole essence is, I'm supposed to see your capabilities, to how far you're able to go for me, if you're going to be able to provide for me. Like you said, women date higher, or because I'm trying to see a stability and a future, and somewhere where I'm going to feel safe. I don't want to be with somebody that's going to make me feel like I'm not safe, I'm not stable. What if it collapses? You're always looking for somebody that has, that is stronger, that has more, what's the word?
Surviving?
No, not surviving. Not progress. It's, I'm looking for a word. There's a very term I'm looking for. Okay, somebody that seems promising, like, even if they're not doing something right now, you want to see them, they have to see their potential. That's the word I was looking for. You want to see their potential, how capable, how they're thinking, how quick they're able to generate money, how quick they're able to relate with people. You don't want to be somebody that's slow, that doesn't want to, think of the next step for yourself and himself also. So I feel like that's how it's kind of shifting.
Oh, that's nicely put. You want to comment? Okay. Sure. I think I like...
Before Jere comes in, the reason why I brought on all those things is because I was expecting to actually be interacting with feminists. So I was expecting for you guys to actually contradict those theories and whatnot.
Feminism right now is toxic. The real feminism is about I was taking gender, so guys, forgive me about these terms. Gender equity, gender equity is about helping the more how can I call it? What's
less stronger or less
yes, let me
privileged?
just use the less stronger party. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give them a platform for them to be able to have same accesses to you as men. So now people have taken feminism to a step where it's, you are supposed to respect us, supposed to include us in everything. No, all we're just trying to do is we're trying to give an equal environment and opportunity for everyone to be able to be free and involve themselves in all different activities.
Well, when you say it like that, actually, it makes me feel like we're on the same page. Hence, I totally agree with everything that you said up until now, and I was actually gaslighting things so that we can go there to that point. But do you think that it's the same scenario as you put it in relationships? Do you think it's the same thing right now? You'd act the same and observe to say, okay, I need to respect the man. I need to observe, like you said, I totally agree when you say we have different strengths, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that they are weaknesses. Mm-hmm. Me saying that women, I'm very attached to their emotions, that's the strength, right? Mm-hmm. Meaning that's my weakness. And if I'm if I'm able in say logic, or not logic, but the other term, problem solving or physical things, meaning those are my strengths, right? Mm-hmm. And those are your weakness. So if we come together now, we can become full circle, this superhuman being, and we're able to work together. But it's not that anymore. We see a woman trying to wear the pants. We see the woman trying to be the the muscle, we see the woman. Why? Because of the introduction of feminism. Like you said, when it was being introduced, it was, it was about equality. It was about helping out the women that were suppressed by that time, because it was ridiculous where a man would step all over the woman and whatnot. But right now, it's a platform on which women are stepping all over men's pride. You see that, right? That's where now the imbalance of having a healthy relationship in this culture, it's very hard. Because we interact with women who will look you straight in the eye and tell you scary things. And as a man, you're scared, you don't want to go into a relationship with someone who scares you. Yeah.
Wow. Talking about feminism, right? Yeah, it's a common thing now. Well, because a lot of women are educated. It's different from way back where only men were, like on the top of everything. Like you can only find men engineers and not women. But now it's like there are women engineers. Like some women have more money than guys. And that it also depends on the person you are dating. Let's say I'm making more money than my boyfriend. Not to say that's what I do, no. But
he's a broker.
The respect won't be as much because I'm making more money than him. There's nothing he can tell me. Like I can get whatever I want, So it's just what do I want to say?
So what a man should always earn more than a woman?
No, it shouldn't be like that. I'm saying like this generation, like we feel because I have it all. Like a man can't tell me anything, Like if you don't want to be in a relationship with me, I have the money, of course, and there are guys I talk to. Any guy can come, I can have sex with them, and that's it. So we won't prioritize that being in a healthy relationship, like someone that really cares for you. Most people are lonely. They don't know a proper relationship, the healthy relationship, because they are too... What do I want to say?
I don't know.
They're too focused on what they have. So you find someone, like I already said, you're earning more than a guy, and then this person wants to be in a relationship with you, but then because you have the money, and then the guy, any mistake he makes, you're already out of the relationship, and he's there alone because you can't talk about it, you can't sit down and resolve things, So
the advice is to us men to make more money than the women we're dating.
Yes, make more money.
Anyway, it's an honest opinion, and I respect that. Now, quick question, as we go deep in this, do you think that the three structures are okay, and they should just be like that? Like you should have a fuck buddy, you should have a, what did you say? The other person, a situationship and a relationship. Should you have those things?
I feel like the whole essence of a situationship is the one that's also ruining the basis of the relationship. Yeah, in a situationship, right? So most of the time you're expecting the situationship to go a step further into being a relationship, and then all of a sudden the other party wakes up and says, "Oh, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, we were just hanging out." Remember when I said situationships these days reach as far as doing things that people in relationships are doing. So people even reach as far as having sex, people even go on dates. They're in a situationship. It's not official. They're going on dates and all those things. Most of the time, once the other party gets what they want, it's done and then it's over. And then now you're scared to get into a relationship. So what you do is you're building a strong personality that's going to be toxic with the next person that you're going to encounter with. So what's going to be like, in an instance where a guy breaks your heart, right? You're going to be toxic, you're going to be hurt, you're going to be scared. What you're going to do is you're going to try to maximize everything you can from him. And then in the end of at the end game, the guy is going to be hurt. What he's going to do, he's going to go to the next girl, and also he's going to try to maximize everything he can from her. It becomes a whole cycle. And in Lusaka, it's a cycle. It is a cycle of pain and I slept with her, I slept with him, and then we were in a situationship. It's just a whole cycle of pain. That really needs to come to an end quickly.
Can I add? I think there's a problem with thinking that it's a cycle. That there's the egg and chicken analogy, right? Yeah. Where did the chicken come from? The chicken come from the egg, or the egg came from the chicken? And it's a cycle, right? I think the people who primarily have the power in this entire cycle is you, the women. If a woman says, I will not have sex with you except we're in a relationship, then it's final. Now here's the thing. The thing is that you may say no to me, right? And I'll go to her and she says yes to me. It means I've already gotten what I want with her. Now, if a sisterhood comes up and says, guys, I think we should never allow any of our men to have sex with us minus a relationship. Then us men will adjust to be like, guys, we need to get laid, but still.
So let's just get into
relationship and give in to our women. Yeah. And you mentioned, sure.
Finish your thought, Jere.
Yeah, you mentioned having a friend who turned down a guy, and the guy, just went to another girl. Thing is, with us men, it's okay for us to have these three options. Let me explain. You see, when a man has abundance, he comes and thinks in a clear headspace. He doesn't think from his dick, he thinks from his head. Now, if a man thinks from his head, then he's able to make the right decisions that are going to financially affect the relationship. One, if he's thinking through his pants, he will promise you things that he will not be able to fulfill, like a relationship. Now, if a man has options, he will come to you. It's like walking. I'll give the analogy of walking into a supermarket and choosing an apple every single time you go into the supermarket. You may have the option to choose a pear, a pineapple, or an orange, but every single day you choose an apple. That is loyalty. It means I can fuck around, but honey, I will still come back to you and say, baby, I love you. That is loyalty. So if a man has these three options, complete. But if a woman has these options, this is where it gets tainted. I know I'm provoking. I'm fishing for it. If a woman has three options, this is what happens. I'm about to say some very all right. Her ability to pair bond with a partner will be extremely elusive. Let me explain. When a woman has multiple partners or a high body count, it automatically makes her a girl who's very difficult to pair bond with one partner. It means that if she fucked a mandingo who had a 12-inch dick when she was 21 years old, and she wants to settle down with Jere at 27 years old, she will always go back and say, nobody ever fucked me like that mandingo when I was 21 years old. I promise you. And that experience might make her leave a marriage or whatever relationship for that mandingo. 2, paternity has been one of the most difficult things for us to ascertain, especially for men. For a woman, we know that when she gives birth, the child is coming from her body. But for us as men, we never know. We never know. Now, if a girl who's got 3 guys, you will never know who the father is.
It's up to her.
On that one, as they say, only the mother knows who the father of the child is. Coming back again to what you said, like women only. What did you say again?
I said women shouldn't have the 3 options. Fuck buddy situation.
Yes. So you mean it's okay for you as a guy who wants to be in a serious relationship to have a fuck buddy and be in a situationship, at the same time also want to be in a serious relationship with someone? How do you think that is going to, like, okay, you love someone, don't you think that's lying? That's not loyalty. Because if you really love a person, you are not going to have another sexual partner. Because you'll be like, okay, you're conscious, just like, is it going to just be like, okay, to leave you? You go out there, you have sex with somebody else, you come back home, your girlfriend is there waiting for you, right? You even look your girlfriend in the eyes and say, I love you.
Yes.
And yet you're from having sex with another person. And you call that love?
Okay, let me explain something before we go. Between guys and women, when a woman gives herself to a man or a guy, she will give herself to a guy. Either she's convinced when he walks into the room, she'll go like, I can fuck that guy. So by the time he's saying, oh yeah, okay, can we do this? She already said yes. You know what I mean? Or he convinced her. Like she said earlier, he convinced her to say, I've got potential, to the point where she thinks, oh, this might be the doorway for me to actually tie him down and make him mine. So she'll only give up sex on two occasions. One, when she's physically attracted to him by default. Oh, I like his structure, I think he's my type. Or she feels security-wise, he can provide for me. He can provide security, he can provide this and stuff. Through maybe words, he affirms and confirms to say, look, I'm going to take care of you. Or maybe through going out and he does things, and then she passes up a pattern to say, okay, he is able to do this, he's able to provide, he's able to ticks off all the boxes, and then she'll give herself.
Sorry to interrupt you, but on that one, where you're saying, like, he's there to show that he can be, his potential, he's able to provide and everything. Don't you think, like, men now just put up that picture of, okay, I'm the man, I can provide for you, I can do whatever you want.
Yes.
But then, you know, that's like lying to women.
Yes.
Us women were soft people.
Yeah.
So if you come to me and tell me you can provide for me,
Yeah.
like you can protect me,
Yeah.
and that's what I want in a guy,
Yeah.
I will fall for it.
True.
So how are you going to blame me again that us were the ones who are, what did you say again?
No. I'm trying to bring you.
Yes.
Bring you to the point of making you understand the two differences. So a woman would only give herself up when she's convinced. What that means is convincing can be interpreted in different ways or angles, right? So she'll only give herself, summarizing everything, she'll only give herself when she's attracted or convinced. See that the two things? A guy, however, can sleep with the girl without those reasons. He can sleep with the girl just because she has pussy. He can sleep with the girl just because he's horny. He can sleep with the girl just because he wants to prove a point. You see the difference, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to say is, between the two, the guy is able to sleep with the girl without having any feelings, strong feelings attached to it. Whereas a girl or a female, a woman, only has sex when she's convinced. Now look at it in a situation whereby we're dating. You and I are dating. So meaning, if you had sex with another guy, what that means, while we were together, what that means is you had a connection with that guy before you actually said yes to having sex with him. Whereas the guy doesn't have to have a connection. So it is possible for a guy to actually have sex with another girl and not have feelings with her, and actually have feelings just for you. It is possible. It's
But
a fuck up.
cheating.
Yes, it is. It's a fuck up. It's cheating. It's unfair when you look at it from the other perspective, but we do not live in a fair, balanced world. Let me explain. The reason why we are having all these, and like she said, it can never be a 50-50. There's always that imbalance, which makes the balance to make sense.
Yeah.
You see that, right? So we're living in a society where men are confused. Why are they confused? Because the hierarchy has changed. Before it was simple. The man goes in the field, he goes, hands, the woman cooks, he comes back, brings the food, the woman will prepare and cook and wash and do all those, take care of the children and stuff like that. But now the woman can go in the field and hunt. leaving the man to be confused. What are my roles? Given in a setup where the woman is making the most back, the man will be confused. What is my role? A lot of men are not being taught on how to evolve with this new setup. See that, right?
Yeah.
Hence, they are unable to learn the art of conversation. What that means is, if I'm unable to give you, what you are trying to say is not provide more, it's be a man more.
Yeah.
We have a shortage of men who are actually men. We have men who are confused because women are talking down on them, so they don't know their identity crisis, right? So you see a situation where a man is traumatized, beaten, spoken down on. He's unable to portray the displays that will arouse your interest as a woman. It's not the money. He might be broke. I've seen a situation where a woman is very loyal to a man who's broke but is masculine in everything. He's able to take charge when he needs to. He's able to understand. He's able to do all these things, portray the masculinity that women will be attracted to. A lot of men nowadays are unable to send that signal. Why? Because of the feminism.
But the question is, how exactly does a man... How exactly does a man have options in this situation, even though a woman may be a feminist and be very independent? So can a man still have options in these three areas? Fuck buddy, when the woman is feminist and is a liberal who's able to provide for the household.
Okay, I'm coming to that point. The last point, the reason why the man who now turned into this, as you ladies would call him, a dog, sleep around and do this, it's because it becomes necessary to a man to sleep around and experiment. Why? Because for him to be shaped into that man that you're going to love, believe me, honey, is going to need to go through that journey. Not all of them do, though. There are others, men, who just have it naturally. Get me right. Most men need to go through that. Why? Because while through that process, they'll learn something. A man who only wants pussy and never had pussy before, believe me, when he's here, is going to be a simp to the point where you're going to be irritated. I love you very much. They're going to oversell the I love you to the point where you're going to be irritated and you not want to be around them. Sometimes it will happen when you already said yes, they're already your husband, and you're like, what the fuck did I do? But for them to become that alpha male that you'll be attracted to, believe me, that's where the sleeping around now comes in.
But then, do you think it is right for you to sleep around because you want to become the alpha male?
Yes.
Support your answer.
So you're saying, due to an identity crisis, that's the excuse. So they're allowed to sleep around for them to find the identity. Is that where you're going? Or is that where you're coming from?
No, continue.
Because what he said was, for a man to reach a certain level of masculinity, right? Not all men, though, he said, but most men have to undergo a certain phase of going through different variety of females for him to fully reach his full potential of masculinity. Mm-hmm. So I want to say, do you think that's fair in the sense of to us women also? If you're dating somebody that hasn't yet reached their full potential masculinity and he's still trying to pursue different various females for him to reach his full potential, do you think that's fair?
Oh, fair. Fair, maybe not. I don't think it's fair. I think the word is based on double standards, especially with regard to a man and a woman. Double standards entirely. And secondly, can I ask this question? I'll ask both of you. What is your idea of how much should a man that is dating you earn per month? How much should he earn?
I'm just 19.
Okay. As a 19-year-old with a very innocent mind of...
Does it really matter right now?
Does it?
For me...
You said he has to at least state higher. I mean, has to at least earn higher.
Not higher. Right now, I think I'm 19. I don't really need much, you know.
How much? At the end of the month, if he works in the government, if he does whatever, how much should he spend? Oh, sorry.
I really can't estimate, you know. I would be lying if I said an amount, because I don't know.
Let me give you an estimation, right?
Yeah.
If you're a teacher and you work in the government with a diploma, you earn after tax between 5,000 to 6,000. With a degree, 5. She knows the facts. She said 5.5. And if you're a degree holder, 7 to 8,000. And what do you want to date, that kind of guy, or do you want to date a guy that earns above 10K per month? 15. She said 15,000.
You know why I'm saying this? I saw a meme saying females don't want to date somebody that is getting paid below 15,000. So people were complaining, saying, meaning we're not going to date. And looking at the way the taxation is right now, it is wild. It's somebody getting paid 5,000, that after taxation it's close to 3,000. So imagine that when before all this started, someone getting 5,000 is 5,000. You can survive a month. You can provide for a family, maybe a family of 2 or 1. Like with 1 kid, you will be able. But right now, that 5,000 after taxation it's mad. It's mad. Oof.
Okay. What about you?
For me, I wouldn't really specify the amounts he's supposed to earn, but as long as he knows what he wants in life, he's a good planner, and it doesn't matter how much he's earning, as long as he can plan things and we're not lacking.
Okay.
Then I'm okay. Even if you're earning a 2,000, as long as you can plan.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Okay. So the reason why I asked this was because I wanted to understand the expectations that you as women go into a relationship with. And if you expect a man who earns 15,000 per month after tax, he has to be a top performer. Yeah. He's either a branch manager, he's either a regional manager of some sorts, in whatever capacity. He has to be a top earner. And the second thing is, for a man to get to that particular tax bracket, they have to have gone through a lot of shit. They have to have served either from the bottom and gotten up to the top like that. Secondly, I'll bring this in the sexual marketplace. If a man has maybe a single digit body count, right? He's only had sex with three girls. It means he doesn't understand women to understand that the female orgasm is the most elusive in comparison to men. Not many women have had the ability to orgasm in their lifetime. Now, for a man to at least understand even a fraction, I'm not even talking about half, just even a fraction of pleasuring a woman, he has to have at least a body count of above 10. At least. This is the bare minimum. And to have 10 women on your... It's not easy at all.
All right, before you react to that, and we steal more time on this podcast, maybe we're going to break it into 2 parts, and make sure to subscribe and leave that notification bell on. Leave your comments, give us suggestions on what we should talk about more, and remember, this is the M&J podcast. All right, so coming back to the reason why it feels crazy on your end as you are hearing it, and it sounds very normal to a guy. It's because, let me make you understand one thing that you not fully understand. Maybe you will need 2 sessions for you to understand this. Women, when they are born by birth, by value, women in the attraction circle between a very attractive, very handsome looking guy versus a very average girl. Do you know that by statistic, average girl who get more attention than the stud guy? Do you know that? Do you know that? Okay, now let me tell you something. Attraction alone. This is one thing that women are for, not men. We may try to flex and look, well, attraction is not our thing. It's for the women. That's the reason why when you see a lot of products that we're buying right now, they're naked women. Why? That's what sells. A naked, good-looking guy being on, it's not that. A woman is just go like out of peer pressure. Yeah, it's good looking, but not really steal their attention. But a woman's body, whether average, whether beneath or not, it will always make people stand. What that means is, from the moment she's born, she received mwana onwabu, she received she received all this attention that she never really asked for. Boy, You receive attention up to a certain age when the cuteness is gone, naturally gone. From the baby stage, you can never tell which one is which until they reach a certain stage. Now you can tell this is a boy, this is a guy. The attention goes away. Up until the stage where they get to being a man, they have to prove themselves all the way. Whether good looking or not, they'll have to prove themselves somehow. A girl doesn't really have to do that. So what that does is the value, her value of existence is known at a very early stage, the woman, because she's been in the realm of receiving spotlight every time. So she's able to identify, to say, have options and opinions to say, okay, this no, this yes, no, I cannot do this, no, I can't. But a guy, however, any girl comes and say, I like you, can we have sex? Yes. That's why it's easy for a girl to say, to just go around and just say, today, I want to have sex. Who wants? A lot of hands will go up. But if it's the other way around, a guy goes like, I want to have sex. Who wants to have in the room of girls? I want to have sex. Weird. Why? Because women already know their value. So they are able to pinpoint and say, okay, look, I don't want this. I want this. I don't want this. So for guys to actually reach to that point where they have the realization to say they have options, they have to undergo a process where they see themselves to have value. Because they're already dealing with people who have an advantage in terms of attention. So they don't really understand their value. He might be good looking and not know it all his life and die not knowing that he was good looking. People are just talking in the background, oh, he's actually good looking when he passes, but he never knew that he was good looking. He always doubts himself. Maybe if I was more like Jere, maybe if I was more like Teddy, maybe if I was more like... In the backgrounds, girls go like he's good looking. For him to actually have that masculinity to even attract you, believe me, he has to undergo that process of actually being in front of the woman, having sex with her, having with another sex with another girl, and maybe 3 or 4, like Jere said, for other men to take 10, for other men to take even just 2, other men to just take 3. But the bottom line is, at that particular moment, the enlightenment only becomes after they realize to say, oh, actually I'm desirable, so I have options. I can say no, I can say yes. See that, right? They are now able to go into, like Jere said, into the more and just pick an apple without looking at the banana. Because if you take them before they learn that they have value and they don't know that they're nice looking, they just go in their house, and while in their house, now women have this tendency of being attracted to men who are taken. If you look at a married man against a single man will have less attention than zero. A married man, all the attention in the world. Why do you think that's so? Women always want affirmation to say, is he attractive? Everybody wants him, I want him. There's always that. So for a man to be pure and have a mate, usually it doesn't happen. Like, it takes a long time. You will just settle for whatever you find. That's the reason why you see that. That's the reason why. Because identity, he doesn't know that he's actually good looking. He doesn't know that he has the ability to come to even approach you. For him to actually come to an awareness, to have the confidence to follow you, because every time we have to follow you, and every time we have to put our pride on the line for you. When you say no, you take away something from us. When you say I can't go out with you, you take away something from us. But for me to consistently say, even if you say no and I'll go to her, I'm like, fuck you, I'll go, sorry, but not literally, fuck you, I'll go to her. I need to undergo a process at which I actually discover myself, and it will take sometimes sleeping with 10 girls. That's the reason why. If I come into the room minus those skills, believe me, you'll not be attracted to me, because I'll portray women, weak traits like, hi, how are you doing? So do you want us to go out? You won't love that. But if I come out confidence, how did I build that confidence? Out of knowing to say, I have options as well. That's the reason why you naturally have their attention. Men don't naturally have their attention. They have to earn their attention. And for you to be attracted to them, they have to reach that point at which they know themselves. That's the only way you're going to be attracted to them. That's the only way they're going to show you direction to say, look, let's do this and let's not do that. Otherwise, they're going to just say yes to everything you say, with the fear of losing you, because you were the first girl they've had. What if I lose her? If I say no? And that's the reason why it's necessary for man to go through that process. You not understand it because you were raised a celebrity all your life, if you know what I mean. You have that attention. and a man doesn't have. He has to earn their attention. That's when now when you say, okay, how about we do this? He'll stand and say, no, let's not do this. Instead, let's do this. And when it works out, you're going to, wow, I'm with the leader. You see that? When it doesn't work out and you bring up the bad idea, then it doesn't work out, the man didn't stand up, you say, oh, why am I with him in the first place? That's the reason why the man needs to sleep around. But the question is, should he do it while he's with the partner? Now that's where the borderline begins. You see that, right? He can do it before you. Yeah, it's necessary for him again. Now this is not general. There are men who actually are born knowing to say, okay, I am this naturally, but most men, because of the echoes that we hear from everybody, you get confused to the point where you don't know yourself. And you need to bring yourself to the point where you actually, oh shit, this is who I am, and I cannot do this, I can do that. That's my opinion.
I still feel like you want to justify the sleeping around. Jokes. I get where you're coming from also, and I understand that we are different, and then it takes different levels and different experiences for us to fully reach our full potential. For girls, like you said, we are grown up being taught what our potential is, being taught what our value is. Unlike for you, men, you're not taught how you're supposed to fully push yourself to reach your certain masculinity for you to be able to be desirable to the female counterparty. So what I can say mostly here is I feel like sleeping around shouldn't also be the basis of somebody reaching their full potential. You could read books, you can engage yourself in scholars, you can listen to podcasts, you can look for an alternative than sleeping around. Also looking at the point when he says for a man to help a woman reach an orgasm. What was I saying? An orgasm, like they have to experience different types of women. I also feel like that's not supposed to be the case, or that's not true, because I feel like if a woman also understands her body, she can be able to communicate with her partner, and then this is what I like, this is how I want it to be done. So I feel like there's also that other perspective he can use for him to, I feel like once you, I don't know if it's true, but I feel like if a man was to be able to communicate with the female counterparty, and then they both are able to reach their full climaxes, he would have confidence in himself. Like he would reach his full masculinity and he'd be like, I feel like you're supposed to also be able to appreciate the woman that has, built that masculinity with you. And then he'll be able, this is somebody that helped me reach this potential, and then you respect her, you stay there. The apple, the banana and whatnot, you would only go for the apple now at that certain point. The pineapple and the other things won't be as much as desirable as she is, because she's also helped you push yourself to a certain level, unlike the level you were in the beginning.
Just to add on what she said, and what you said, like about a man having to sleep with multiple people before he reaches their potential, I think it's just about self-love. Love yourself first before you could actually have sex with multiple people for you to feel like, okay, now I'm the man. Love yourself and know your worth. It will help you. And also the orgasm part, there are books you can read about it. You can read about this on Google. Also, as she said, a woman also needs to know her body. So if I know what makes me feel nice if I'm having sex, I'll communicate with my partner and say, this is what I like. So if you do this, if you do that, it will make me feel nice. So the other person is also going to know what to do. And yeah.
All right. I think you ladies are lying to us. You're lying to us. You're lying to our minds. And first of all, you're telling me you have to love yourself. You have to discover your worth by loving yourself. And when you love yourself enough, the woman is going to accept you. I think in paper it works, but then in practice, it's a different thing. See, I lost my virginity to a girl, Mercy. Hey, what's up?
Oh shit! That took a turn. Messy.
You see, what had happened was, it was the first round, and I think I came in 10 thrusts. It was 1, 2, actually 5.
Yeah.
What I didn't
It's a
know,
thing, actually.
in the books they told us, it's pleasurable, it's exciting. What I didn't know that it came with heat, the warmth. Yeah. The warmth is what gets to us, and the textbooks couldn't teach us this
because it's physical. It's not
physical.
Yeah, it's not
the second
practical.
thing that I didn't know was she wanted to cuddle after the sex. And I'm like, what time is your yango coming?
Yeah. Because you're done. After the release, the reason why, after the release, our energy is gone.
It goes. I literally, I'm so sorry, but I literally had to learn this the hard. I spoke with my best friend. Mala's my best friend, by the way. I told, dude, this is what happened. And, we sat down and he was like, Jere, here's the thing. Women actually sometimes need to cuddle because the cuddle is where they actually bond emotionally. Oxytocin is released when a woman cuddles after sex. And that's like pair bonding. And that can only come through experience. I had to learn it the hard way. And the second thing, with regard to money, I discovered that the top 10% of men in Lusaka, the top 10% of men have sex with 90% of the women. 90%. And the bottom 90% of men almost have zero sex.
Yeah, true.
It's a very harsh reality. But for a man to get laid, it is the most difficult thing to do. Now, you must understand how equally balanced this entire sexual marketplace is. All the women just want the top guys who earn north of 15,000 per month, who have their own apartment while in a venue. He's got logistics, he drives a car. And the cars now, it's no longer Vitz, mami. It's Allion going up.
Allion, why? Benz, much. You even think
there's another tier. There's Hilux.
Hilux, would say.
I haven't seen.
There's a Maybach in Lusaka.
I haven't
beautiful.
Seen. But I discovered that in order for a man to achieve these very things, drive the car, get the apartment, get the reference experience with regard to sex, it takes nearly 10 years. So your early 20s, you don't get laid, or you get laid by chance. Oh, maybe she was lonely and then she calls and then I got laid. 2 years later, dry spell. The thing is, because of this difficulty, society rewards men for achieving great success over 10 years. And the reward is, after you get to a particular status as a man, you have access to 90% of the population. That's the reason why in Lusaka we're just exchanging women, And we had a situation where we once had the same girl.
I don't know by who you mean. You have the same girl?
And
I don't know who he's talking about, by the way.
And what had happened was we discovered it like months later. You know this one? Yeah, Tina Pitap.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? And it was punishing because I discovered we're at the higher echelon of men, and because of this, all the women are fighting to date guys that are at the top because one, they can provide and protect and defend if anything happens. If she falls pregnant, this guy would take care of the kid. He would take care of my family. He would take care of me. So for you to discredit a guy when he is in his 30s after achieving 10 years of experience and say, you're supposed to be monogamous to me because I'm the girl who's going to be monogamous to you. But when you were young, when you had a plethora of attention, did you ever think of monogamy? No, this is unfair. I think it's an equal balance in the dating world. If a man gets to his top 10%, we should accept that he should at least have the main girl and the side girl.
Okay, there's one topic. There's a story I'm gonna tell you. It's a long, but I'm gonna put it short, very short, summarized. There was a point where I couldn't be in a relationship because I had practiced not being in a relationship, that I had become good not being in a relationship. that being in a relationship became foreign. You know what I mean? I couldn't stay for a long time because I wasn't wired like that. I believe every pattern that you tolerate, you are practicing, so you become good at it. So I became good at convincing girls to be with me, and they would think, oh yeah, finally. For some reason, they would always label me the safe guy, you know, we can be. And it was a dilemma. Detaching myself from the safe guy and I'm going to take you a long way was a hard job. Because by default, the girl will see me, oh, you look like a good guy and stuff like that. I had to fight that. Fuck no, I'm not. And stuff. I had managed to build a persona. By the way, when I say building a persona, this had to go with the series of discovery, like failing a lot of times, being said to no by a lot of girls, trying again, going again, until I get the right formula. Again, I had to go through a lot of people, you see that, right? For me to get to the point where, oh shit, okay, this is what it's all about. Now, there was a point at which Jere was laughing at me and saying, oh look, you are unable to be in a relationship like stable, because I was in the middle of all these friends who had stable girlfriends, and I was like, and Jere was just being introduced in my life, and I was surprised, how do you have a lot of friends who are in stable relationships, but you are not in a stable relationship? What's going on? I think you have a disorder. You're unable to tie down a girl, and I'm a person to take challenges. And I told Jere, I was like, look, I'm going to find a girlfriend by next month. I'm going to have a stable girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, I remember that challenge.
Yeah, I had a deadline. I was like, I'm going to have a girlfriend by next month because I felt challenged. So I was like, I'm going to see this through, which I did. I managed to get a girlfriend and all that.
But it wasn't easy as well.
It wasn't easy. It was like girlfriend and other girls in between because I was just getting used to this thing. So baby steps. So I reached a point, long story short, I reached a point where I had one girlfriend in public, like everybody knew her, but I had other girls who knew they were my girlfriends, but they also knew that they weren't my girlfriend because I was an asshole enough to tell them to say, we're not dating. And for some reason, they kept on coming back. But it reached a point where I finally had just one girl. After that one girl, what I was scared of happened, got heartbroken, moved from that one girl, and was open enough to try with another one girl, with the awareness of saying I might get heartbroken. It's another reason. Fear would lead people to having multiple, to even their chances of having, safe landing. When I fall here, I'm gonna have a fallback. So fear also made me to have multiple partners, to the point where I had one girl and I wasn't scared of falling. And we had this thing where Jere would laugh, but wait, what if she breaks your heart? What are you going to do? And I'm like, well, it's better mpwanyike mtima. So for me to reach that point of it's better mpwanyike, remember, I had to go through all these cycles, right?
Yazima.
Which, what? Laptop?
That one.
Huh?
That camera. I'll cut this out.
Alright, good. You have to say bye as well. Yeah, I think we have to close. Yeah. And we're gonna break it into series. Yeah.
Shit, is this one recording?
Ngapezi yazima na hivyo kudala.
Okay, recording. Okay, we can continue.
Alright. Conclusion?
Yeah, you can wrap it up.
I wanted to pose one question.
Yeah,
sure.
So, do you think, in the sense of where you feel like men should undergo a cycle, or like have different experiences with so many girls? Do you think women should also undergo the same process that men are going through to reach their full feminine potential, for them to be able to know their value?
No, I don't think it's necessary for girls. Like I said,
why don't you want that to be the case?
Okay,
for us
it's not like I want, like it's a I want thing. It's like look, I'll shortly summarize that. Remember, I told you a long story of how girls naturally have attention and stuff like that. So it's unnecessary because they already know themselves. They are close to being a finished product than men are in the sector of attraction, sector of fulfilling your your needs as a man is consent. You see that, right? A woman is at 19 already close to being a woman, than a man at 25 is close to being a man. Why? Because of the same reason. You see that, right? And the other thing is, the more a woman sleeps around, the more undesirable she becomes. Like to settle with her, like long term. You know what I mean?
On that one also, even us women, we don't want men that have slept with 1,000 girls to reach their potential level.
You say so, but
Yes.
statistics right now tell us otherwise.
It's not right. So all that can happen. You have to, as you're saying, no, you have to undergo this process, but then it's not fair. So I feel we should all just be
Pure.
find a stable relationship and have sex with the same person as many times as you want,
You'll be
and
bored,
get
honey.
to learn. You won't be bored.
You'll be bored. You'll go call your neighbor.
Then there will be no stable relationships if someone is going to say you'll be bored.
Look, I've seen a relationship with both. We all have read stories of a man who's rich, who's handsome, tall, and stuff like that, being cheated on by a wife who slept with the garden boy.
Maybe his dick was small.
Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. You see that, right? You see what I'm saying? Maybe his dick was small. Maybe his dick wasn't small. Maybe he didn't know how to use the dick. Maybe the garden boy knew how to use the dick better.
Exactly.
That's what
so
I'm saying.
learn how to use your dick so well that you don't have to
How do you think a man is going to learn how to use his dick
using
well?
one partner.
No, it doesn't.
That's
doesn't happen.
why you have to communicate.
True.
That's why
I agree.
communication is important.
I agree.
So if you're trying to learn something, you're trying to learn yourself, you're trying to learn something about sex, your dick and everything, I feel doing it with one partner is not wrong, because you try today, maybe you come in seconds. The next day you try, it will take longer, you keep on trying.
Yeah, until you
learn
get
to
there.
be with one person and not different people.
So you remember when you said like a habit that's continuous, it goes into practice, right? So imagine a man that keeps on sleeping with different females over and over again. When he enters into a relationship, don't you think it becomes a habit for him, a chain for him that's going to be hard to break?
Okay, so you didn't hear the end of the story. That's the reason why you are stopping me.
I don't want to say something.
Yeah, but wait.
And that's why a lot of married men are not content with their wives and they want to have sex outside their marriages because they haven't reached their potential, whatever it is that you guys are calling it.
They are having a taste of power and they don't know how to handle it. It's like a boy having access to
but then they've been having sex from the time they were young until they reach maybe 30 and settle.
No, that's where you get it wrong. The men that would endlessly cheat on their wives are men that never reach the full potential. Are men that had access to power, which is money, that we call power like money, and they reached that point they were able
so
to
they
attract
need
a woman.
to have more sex for them to stop cheating.
Look, check this. They reached a point where they got married, and now after getting married, they start doing things in reverse. Things that were supposed to be done while they were boys, they start doing them as men. Now they're boys in a man's shell because they never had enough experience. Now, where they are at, they discover to say, I can sleep with the many people. They're so excited that they want to try it out. Okay, let me put my dick in this. Oh, let me put my dick in this.
And they
now,
end up having HIV.
Exactly. Now, one of the ways to avoid that is by the first thing that we said, whereby
Have more sex.
no. Okay, let me finish the story and we're gonna get to that. So the story ends like this. Eventually I tried having 3 stable girls, right? Girlfriends. It didn't work until I reached on the last one currently. And what happened there was I still had access to getting whatever girl I wanted, right? With the skills that I had acquired. But one thing, when I met this girl, what happened was she was willing to allow me to express myself as a man, and I became willing to also allow her to express herself like a woman. She showed me loyalty, and slowly I started reciprocating it. You see that, right? It's like I was undergoing now a purification moment where I was given reason as to why, because I had reached a point where I was so egoistic, to the point where I thought, look, I can have it, so what are you gonna do about it? It's either if you don't want to be around this, just leave. I'll do that. Just leave. I'll tell you to say I have a girlfriend, and you're already tied in this circle that you obviously still hoping. You see that, right? But she inspired loyalty, and I started reciprocating. What I'm trying to say is, it's easy for you girls to say, look, you can just read a book and stuff like that, because you're coming from a background where you had this attention. You don't know what it means not having that right posture to. Now, for me now, where I'm at, am I inspired to go out and go for another girl? I would say, oh, she's pretty, and immediately just tell myself to avoid, because I've reached a stage where now I understand to say I'm not moved by just beauty alone. I want intellect, I want this, and my woman is able to provide that. You see that? It's able to provide that full circle. She's giving me reason to stay loyal because she's loyal to me. She's giving me reasons to respect her because she respects me first. We have a lot of girls who would dare to disrespect you, dare to break you down and doubt yourself. Hence, that's the reason why all these other girls in my past were unable to tie me down, and this girl is managing to tie me down. It's because of that inspiration of loyalty, and now I have a reason to be loyal. Even going forward, I don't see myself, I don't know whether in the future there will be that demon who will come and try to sway me away from her. But currently, I can speak from my perspective, from where I'm seeing things. I don't see myself cheating. Why? Because I've had a share of that. And no longer have the reason to cheat. You see the conclusion, right? Yeah. The sad thing is, we are not advocating for young men to be going around, to be sleeping around, because AIDS is real, and STIs are real.
Too much.
So if you're doing it, do it safely. There are condoms, there are contraceptives. Do that and take care of yourself. That's my point. That's my closing remark.
I don't know if there's a way that we could end the cycle, but I think this is the best way to end the cycle. The cycle of, I think the ultimate antidote for the hookup culture is having father figures in households. I think the reason to why you would find a lot of generational single-parented homes headed by women is because you would not have a father figure in the house. Let me explain. If you have this hookup culture continue, what's going to eventually happen is that the bunch of women that are not as attractive will grow old with a dog and a cat in the house, no children. And the attractive girls are the ones that are going to get knocked up either at 25, 30, and will be single moms. This will eventually turn out that the generation that's going to come out is guys that are very early on incarcerated, women who are knocked up early at 16, 17, and 18, and hence this hookup culture will continue. So cycle and another generation and generation and generation, which brings degeneracy to an entire society. My suggestion is, in this Lusaka hookup culture, if our fathers could come and sit us down as men, and our mothers could sit us down as women, and tell us the value of the nuclear family and the value of being of chastity, or maybe having sex within the vicinity of marriage, this will bring an end to the hookup culture and the vicious cycle of fuck buddy, relationship, and situationship. That's what I'll have to say in closing. My lady?
I would only say stay safe. HIV is real. People are sick out there, and guys, stay safe. Just be with one partner. Enjoy your relationships with one partner, not relationships. Your relationship.
guys, you can genuinely practice your confidence outside sleeping with other girls. So many ways. Yeah, and also let's just bring an end to this hookup culture. Let's find something to bring an end to this. Otherwise, we can be better people, and it always starts from you as a person. If you as a person watching this, you want to change, you will change. Be a better person for yourself. Be a better person for your future kids that you want to have. Eventually, to start up a cycle that's gonna start up a revolution that's gonna change the whole world.
And remember, this has been the M&J podcast, and catch us on the next one. This one has been long, and we're going to cut it in 2 episodes. Watch out for that.
Peace.
Not pieces.
Shit.
Not pieces.